Imagine buying a phone, then learning Google keeps the master key. You can invite another AI, but the best doors stay locked. Europe saw that arrangement and reached for a crowbar. The target is Google's privileged access, not Gemini itself. Android has long promised choice, customization, and endless apps. But a chatbot window is not a real phone assistant. A real assistant needs microphones, app controls, notifications, context, and replies. Without them, rival AI is a genius waiting outside. On July 16th, the European Commission issued binding Digital Markets Act measures. They require Google to give rival assistants comparable access to key Android features. Rivals should not use a tiny window while Gemini takes the elevator. Europe wants competition inside the phone, not just a browser tab. Examples start with waking an assistant by voice. A rival could act inside apps, not merely explain buttons. The measures also mention suggested replies and recently visited places. That turns abstract regulation into a fight over daily habits. Intelligence cannot win fairly when one company controls every shortcut. The hidden superpower is distribution, permissions, triggers, and defaults. Europe wants to separate that power from Android ownership. The AI race becomes a landlord dispute, not an exam. Google says deeper access can create privacy and security risks. Fair point. Assistants can touch messages, locations, apps, and routines. Giving every clever bot a skeleton key would be cartoon villain competition. Europe demands guarded access, not an unlocked phone buffet. A second order reaches into Google search. Eligible rivals can receive anonymized ranking, query, click, and view data. Search improves by watching huge streams of human behavior. Google collected the river. Europe wants rivals to share the current. Android could become a real battleground for OpenAI, Anthropic, and smaller players. Your favorite assistant might eventually answer from the lock screen and work across apps. Phone makers could gain leverage over which intelligence reaches users. Google could lose control of mobile AI's most valuable doorway. Reality check. Nothing flips across every Android phone tomorrow. Implementation, eligibility, and safeguards still decide what rivals can do. ChatGPT and Claude do not suddenly gain complete system access. Instant freedom headlines sell fireworks before anyone builds the launcher. Strategically, Google can no longer treat every key pathway as private property. Rivals can demand parity when Google's assistant gets a privileged route. Regulators gain a concrete checklist instead of a vague play nicely order. Enforcement is slower than a launch, but harder to ignore. Success makes assistant choice feel like choosing a browser. Failure creates decorative settings while useful doors remain behind velvet ropes. Everything depends on implementation, security, and enforcement. Regulation creates leverage. Engineers must turn it into working access. Europe did not break Android, ban Gemini, or unleash random bots. It challenged Google's right to keep the master key. That could reshape mobile AI more than another forgettable benchmark victory. Which assistant would you trust with your phone's keys?